Hello and welcome back to my weekly videos summarizing what you guys need to do in order to be successful for this course. I want to remind you once again, watching this video is not mandatory as it is described on the instructions. Since this is an asynchronous course, you can actually complete any of these tasks within the availability window, which starts today, Sunday, and it ends next Saturday. I just want to go over what you guys need to complete so that you don't forget anything. So, first of all, we're going to actually, now that we know and we're familiar with the structure and function of the organelles inside of a cell, eukaryotic cell. That's what you guys learned on the previous module. We're going to look at how do cells get the energy in order to maintain the homeostasis that is needed for the cell to stay alive and do all the biological um, task that it needs to do. We're going to start with photosynthesis first on this module, and then next module will take care of cellular respiration. So you guys are going to be learning photosynthesis on this module, and I'm going to go over the key points. Uh, but you will also, on the lab, on the virtual lab for this module, so you guys will learn about enzymes. And the enzymes, if you guys remember when we talked about biological molecules, are proteins. And so they have all the characteristics of a protein, and they work like proteins. But one thing that important job enzymes do in biology is that they catalyze chemical reaction, and catalysis means that they make sure those chemical reactions go forward um, at a faster rate. And so what you're going to learn on this lab is exactly how enzymes work by lowering the energy of activation of these chemical reactions. You're going to learn about the importance of the structure of these enzymes and how is it that if the structure is not correct, it will not work. With this lab, which is I think an awesome lab, you're gonna see some assays that will show you that when the structure of the enzyme is compromised, it will not work as well as when it is the correct structure. So remember, all of this information that I am summarizing for you, it is within the background. So just make sure you read it. And then what you're going to do on the virtual lab, procedures step by step, easy to follow. And do it with your data collection and summary worksheet. So always download this worksheet. Remember, uh, if it's a PDF, so if you cannot or do not know how to edit a PDF, all you have to do is answer the questions on a piece of paper on a notebook, and then take a picture of it and upload it on the data collection and worksheet submission. But if you know how to edit the PDF, you can actually fill out the worksheet in there. And then just to make sure that we have a full comprehension of how enzymes work, don't forget about the enzyme quiz. Now, it is time now for to do a summative assessment with everything that we have learned so far. So that is exam number 2. And for exam number 2, remember, it is a time exam, 90 minutes from the time you open it until the time it closes. And so what I suggest is that you guys have review the all the material that you need in order. Like if you were studying for an exam that is a face-to-face, go ahead and review all the material. I am sending you an email with all the material that you guys need to know for this exam so that you guys have it uh, handy. So you review it, and not only reviewing it, if you forget one thing or two things, you can always go and take a quick look at them. But do not attempt to answer all questions by looking at the answers on the material because you're going to run out of time. So to make sure that you guys review and study, and then you have 90 minutes to complete that exam. All right, so let me go over a summary of what you guys will be learning in photosynthesis. Let me switch things here real quick. Boom. So, so there are two, those are the main learning objectives: how energy flows from the sun and through all life on Earth, and how photosynthesis uses that energy to make food. Okay, those are the two learning objectives for this module. The other two will take care of it on the next module. So one of the things that you need to know is photosynthesis is the process by which plants, mainly plants, there are other organisms. Plants are not the only ones that are photosynthetic organisms, but they capture energy from the sun. They store those energy in chemical bonds of sugar molecules, which then the cells use to extract the energy to then to do the cellular work, and they do that through cellular respiration, which is this other process that manages energy, which we'll discuss next week. But we will concentrate this week on looking at how the cells that are able to capture energy from the sun, how do they do that? So remember, this is just a summary, but really quick, just make sure that when you're going through the notes and or reading the book, understand how once that energy gets, the way it radiates from the sun and it gets to our planet, it is stored as potential energy, and from potential energy it can be transferred to kinetic energy. So make sure that you understand potential versus kinetic energy. In order to understand that, you guys, we have to learn a little bit of thermodynamics, which is the study of the transformation of energy from one type to another. There are two laws that dictate how energy works. The first law of thermodynamics: energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred or transformed. And the second law of thermodynamics, it says that in every energy conversion, energy is not perfectly efficient. Some energy will be converted to heat. And as that heat releases or it gets released in those transformation or conversion of energy, the entropy of the universe increases. Entropy is disorder. And that is a little bit better explained within the book. So once you understand that, the two laws of thermodynamics, then you're going to get to know about the molecule that it temporarily, once the energy gets extracted from sunlight, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a few, there is a molecule that it's kind of like, and like it says in here, ATP molecules are like free-floating rechargeable batteries in a living cell, because that's a very good analogy. The energy goes temporarily into those molecules, it gets transferred temporarily into those molecules of ATP, and then from those molecules of ATP, and you're going to read everything about the molecules of ATP, the chemical structure, and how does it work, how does it get recharged, how does it release the energy. So that's important. Make sure you guys understand that. So once the energy gets released from those molecules of ATP, then it goes on to be utilized by the second step on the process of photosynthesis to build those sugar molecules, which the final purpose of those sugar molecules is to be used in order to do cellular work, or to maintain the homeostasis inside of the cell. So photosynthesis. And one more thing, and I'm sorry, but another thing that you're gonna understand from here is a little bit about light, how it travels from the sun to our planet in the form of wavelengths and photons. And so the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum as we get it from sunlight that powers the process of photosynthesis with the visible light portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. So it tells you a little bit about that for a full understanding on how that energy powers uh, or is able to be captured by the process of photosynthesis and then be transferred and transformed to power cellular work in order for the cell to maintain homeostasis. So once you learn that, then you go on to trying to or understanding the steps in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis have two main steps, which are the light reactions. This is a bunch of chemical reactions. Don't get too caught up into trying to understand exactly how every chemical reaction works. But in general, try to look at how the energy gets transferred through the electrons to the molecules of ATP, which is then what's going to be used to build those sugar molecules, as I told you before. And then on the second step, which is the Calvin cycle, is the actual step that utilizes that energy from the molecules of ATP to make those sugar molecules, which will then be once again utilized uh, so that the cells extract the energy that is stored in the chemical bonds of those sugar molecules to do cellular work to maintain homeostasis. So you are responsible for this unit to cover information all the way to 5.11 for this unit and answer the questions on the exam. So once again, this is just a summary. If you guys need more help in this, just reach out to me, email me, and I will make sure to schedule a one-on-one conference so that we can go through this information. Thank you for your attention. And as always, if you have any other questions or concerns, do not hesitate to email me um, with those. All right. Until next week, or maybe sooner if you need me. Have a wonderful week. Thank you.